love and life's journey. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Chantel, and today's video is a trash to treasure video. So this last weekend I had a few hours to kill, so I went thrift store shopping and I found several items that were really good candidates to make over with only using paint. So I'm going to be showing you some different techniques of how you can transform different items using paint. And if you like the galvanized metal look, then I have a technique that is so realistic looking. I really was surprised at how well this turned out, and I'm really excited to show you. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get started.
The first item I picked up was this tin planter box, and I really liked the embossing on it, and I liked the design, but I don't really care for the color of it. And I knew it'd be easy to transform with a coat of paint, and I only paid $1.99 for it, so it's a pretty good deal. As with pretty much everything I get from the thrift store, I want to give it a good cleaning before I start working with it, so I'm just washing this down with a wet rag. Then I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the color of ivory, and you can pick this up at Walmart. And then I'm going to use just a cheap brush that I also got at Walmart. It's nothing fancy. The bristles are a little bit stiff, but I think you could use pretty much any paintbrush. So when I first started painting this, I was thinking that maybe I would just go over this really lightly with the ivory paint and see if it would just go on the top of the raised parts of the design, and the black would show through, which it's doing a little bit, but I'm not real pleased with how this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and finish this side this way and let it dry and see what it looks like, but I'm thinking that I probably don't want to do it this way. And so then I decided that I didn't care for this. So I am going to go ahead and paint the rest of it, just painting it completely with the ivory paint, and see how that goes. So while I was painting this, I was thinking I was going to go back and put a second coat on it, and then maybe do a little bit of dry brushing with a darker color just to age it a little bit and make it not quite so stark white. But actually, once I got the first coat on and then that dried, I got to looking at it, and you could see some streaking of the black underneath the paint, and I really liked the look of that, so I decided just to leave it that way. And I would encourage you, when you're doing these types of projects, don't be worried about if it is going to be exactly what you want the first time, because when you're just doing something with paint, you can always start over. I could have repainted this black and started over if I wanted to, or just painted it a different color. So just feel free to be creative and try different things. So here is the finished product, and like I said, I ended up just doing the one coat of paint because it was enough coverage, but you could still see a little bit of that black coming through. It doesn't show real well on the video, but I really liked the look of it, so I decided just to stop there. And now I'm just going to take some of these 97-cent boxwood plants that I got from Walmart in the floral section, and I'm going to use 4 of these and just put these inside this planter. And this project was so simple and inexpensive to do, but I think it looks great and makes a wonderful accent to any decor. I was really excited to find these metal wall pockets because I've been looking for something to put on either side of a big picture display that I have in our dining room, and these are going to be perfect, and they were only $1.99 each, and so I was really excited about this. I'm going to be transforming these so that they look just like galvanized metal, and I can use them all year long. I'm so excited, so let me show you how to do that. I'm going to be using this metallic aluminum spray paint by Rust-Oleum. You can get this for about $3 or $4 at Walmart. I will also be using this Waverly chalk paint in the color of elephant. This is a dark gray color. And also I'm going to be using a lighter gray color. This is just some craft paint that I had on hand. Any brand or type will do, just a lighter gray. I will also be spraying mine with this clear matte finish just to protect them. It's not really necessary if you're going to use them indoors, but definitely want to do this if you want to put it outside, like on a porch or something. First, I'm going to prep my pieces by removing the stickers off of them, and then I will be roughing up the surface using just some sandpaper. I'm using a little bit coarser sandpaper just to give it a little bit of a rough surface so that the spray paint will adhere to it better. Then I'm going to take a damp cloth and I'm going to clean this up really well, get all of that dust from sanding off, and then just any dirt or anything that was on it just from being in the thrift store. Once it's completely dry, I'm just going to take my aluminum colored spray paint and I'm going to give them a couple coats of this. Just one coat, I can still see that lettering on the front showing through, and so I let that first coat dry really well and then I gave it a second coat. I also sprayed a little bit of the metallic aluminum spray paint into the inside of this, just around the top edge. I didn't worry about painting down inside the whole thing. I just wanted to get it a little bit around the top just in case that showed. And this is after 2 coats of paint, and as you can still see that lettering just a little bit, but it's really not going to matter because once we do the galvanized technique on it, it's not going to show. So now I'm going to take my elephant colored chalk paint and some of that lighter gray colored craft paint, and I'm just going to put some on a paper plate, and then I will be using that to dab my paintbrush in. And I'm using a kind of soft bristle brush. This is kind of a fluffy brush, and you want to use a brush that you don't care about for this because it is kind of hard on the brush. And so this is an old brush that I use for things like this, but I'm just going to dab into the paint and get a little bit of the excess paint off before I start dabbing it onto my project. And then I'm going to just pounce it onto my project. I'm going to twist the brush and turn the brush different ways as I'm doing this, just so that it doesn't look uniform. I want it all to have kind of just a really random pattern. And I'm doing this with the elephant colored chalk paint first, so I'm going on with my darker color first, and then I'm going to go over that using the lighter colored paint. And then once I have done that, I'm going to go back again with the dark paint and just put a little bit more on the top, not quite so much as I did the first coat, but just adding a little bit here and there where I think it needs it. And you can just keep layering the 2 colors of paint until you have a look that you like. And don't forget to also go around that top rim. And I'm painting the handle a different color, so I'm not worrying about that, but if you want to have it be the same, then make sure you do it as well. So this is what my brush looks like after I have finished this project. I still have to wash it and clean it out, and it will pretty much go back to its original state, but it is pretty hard on the brush. That's why I use an old one. So here's what the finished galvanized look looks like. I think it looks amazing. I compared it to this galvanized bucket from Dollar Tree, and I love it, and mine is not as shiny, which is really what I was going for. I like the matte look, but I am amazed at how well this galvanized look turned out. Next, I'm going to take some black craft paint, and I'm just going to paint the handles black because I decided I wanted that contrast from the galvanized look, and I'm happy I did it this way. I like the way it turned out. And the last step is to give it a couple coats of this clear matte sealer, and that will protect it and keep that finish looking great forever. And here's what it looks like in my dining room. I added some greenery, and since Valentine's Day is coming up, I added some of these little pink flowers, and I love how it looks. It just goes with my farmhouse decor so great. And if you didn't see my video on how to make that picture frame, I will link that in the description box below. And if you are new to my channel and you are liking what you are seeing and you enjoy DIY projects, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and also the bell and set your notifications so that you'll see all the videos that I upload. My last thrift store find was this cool lantern, and it looks like something has been removed from the top. There's some marks on the top that you can see that looks like they've taken something off on the corners there. And it's painted kind of a weird, dirty looking gray color, and I don't care for that. And so I'm going to freshen this up. And I thought this was funny. It was $9.99 at the thrift store that was next door, but I got it at Goodwill for $4.99. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is prep this. So I'm going to sand it down a little bit, especially where there's some rough areas where the paint is peeling off. And then I will just take a damp cloth and wipe the whole thing down. I decided again to use the ivory chalk paint. I like using the lighter color on things for my home because I don't have a lot of natural light in my house, and so it can seem a little bit dark. And so I'll be using a couple different sizes of paintbrush for this. I'll be using the little bit wider one for those outside edges, and then a flat skinny brush for those skinnier areas so that I can get in there easily. So I'm just giving the whole outside of this lantern 2 coats of the ivory chalk paint, and this is a little bit time consuming, but it's well worth it. And so I just gave it 2 coats of paint, and obviously I can't paint the inside of those because the glass is in the way. There's no way to take the glass out of this, but I actually like the gray on the inside. I think it gives it a little bit more dimension and interest. So don't be afraid to just try out some of these things and experiment with them, and you may be surprised at how much you love the end result. Now that it's all painted and the paint is dry, I am taking a razor blade, and you obviously want to be careful doing this, and don't let kids do this. This is definitely something for an adult, but use the razor blade to scrape off any paint that has gotten onto the glass, and it will come off pretty easily with the razor blade. Then I'm going to take some glass cleaner, and this spray away glass cleaner from Costco is amazing, and it's really cheap too. And I'm just going to clean the glass inside and outside and make it all nice and clean. And I just added some Dollar Tree florals to this, and then I'm going to add this little LED pillar candle, and I have just a little glass jar that I have in there to set the pillar candle on so that it sits up higher. But I love how this turned out. I love how fresh and clean it looks. And it only cost me $5 plus a little bit of paint and some of my time. So I think that was a really good investment. I hope you enjoyed this thrift store trash to treasure video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps my channel to grow. And leave me a comment and let me know which project was your favorite. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around a while, as I have lots more DIY videos to come. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.